You gotta do it on the computer. That trips me up every single time it happens. Okay, so,
Tiffany,
yes.
do you know, do you remember what's on tomorrow or on Thursday?
The Harry Potter release?
No.
Oh, no, Big Brother.
Yes.
Yes. I'm so excited.
You're recording. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I don't care. Okay, so we are going to do Orville's third chord tonight, and it's all on leadership. And I know that this is like crazy. So I took last week off. Michelle did it. And then this week, Michelle is taking off and spending time with her family, and I'm the only one leading the call. So you guys get me for at least like 40 minutes. But I'm super excited to talk to you guys about leadership because it's something that I love doing. Just because I've seen how this business has changed every single person on this call's life. And so I know that it can do the same for you guys. So the jump right in, you guys, if you haven't tuned into the last couple of weeks, the first chord is PRV, and then the second chord is sponsoring. And if you missed both of those, go back onto our YouTube channels. Michelle and I both have them uploaded. And you can rewatch those, get our tips, kind of hear where we're coming from on those topics. But to go into leadership, so I love this. Honestly, this business is so amazing because we can change people's lives. So obviously, to be a leader, it starts with you. Some of the stuff that I am going to talk about tonight requires a team, but you guys are all trying to build that, especially with the fall coming up. It's going to be super easy. So, and then some of it you guys can go ahead and start doing now as like a group of one. So just take it and then take your notes, share your takeaways in the team page. Make sure that you guys, when you get off the call, you really go in and you share your takeaways. That's what we are trying to like get better at, is getting more people on these calls so that you guys can share them with everybody, and they'll like start getting more trainings from us because they're weekly. So leadership. When it comes to communicating with your teams, I know that this is a super like easy thing. I feel like my like lighting is terrible, so I'm really sorry about that. I don't really know. Maybe I need to face the light. That's probably what I need to do. Travis is playing this game too, by the way, so sorry guys. Okay, that's a little bit better. So when it comes to communicating with your team, I really like to communicate through voice text. I was not doing that in January, and I switched it up to really voice texting my people. And it came off a lot better. I will send my downline, my top 5, not my top 5, but just 5 voice texts to 5 people in my downline. And if you have a small downline, do 1 a week. Or if you have a big downline of like 30, do 3 a week. It doesn't matter. I have 160, so I do 5. And I just make sure that I pinpoint different people every single week. You want to make sure you're targeting people that are active. You're targeting people that are engaging on your team page. The ones that you're seeing, or you are scrolling through your downline and you don't remember ever talking to this one person. Excuse me, send them a voice text and be like, hey, like my name is Tiffany Green. I'm your director with Scentsy, or I am your leader with Scentsy. I just wanted to check in and see like how you're doing, like how's your month going? Or if you see something on Facebook and you want to give them a shout out, or they are doing something with their family, be like, hey girl, I saw you were doing this with your family. How did it go? So when you're trying to communicate with your people, like communicate through voice text if you can. If you can, obviously some people don't have that option. So text them. But kind of do the same thing. You want to make sure that you are being nice. That is the biggest thing that I can tell you. And I don't think that some people really understand when you go to promote, it's very easy to put your wants above someone else's, and that can come off very negative sometimes. So make sure we're being considerate of others' feelings and you're not harping on them. That is the biggest thing I see. Some people I know I've talked to and they're like, well, my team's not communicating with me. And the first thing that I always say to that person is, are you blowing up their phone? And sorry, I'm admitting people into the thing and I really suck at multitasking. But the first thing that I'll ask is, are you blowing up their phone? Meaning, are you messaging them every single day saying, hey, where's your orders? Hey, what are you doing? Hey, do you need any help? Make sure you're being very considerate of how much you're talking to them. Just like you can over communicate with your customers, you can over communicate with your team. Okay. I know that Michelle and we have team pages. So that's also a really good way to communicate. And then we have started doing newsletters. And I know that a lot of you guys are getting these newsletters and you guys love them, but that's a way that you communicate with your team. Okay. So be very mindful of that. Make sure that you're investing in them in the appropriate manner, if that makes sense. You're not overdoing it. You're not underdoing it. And honestly, just make sure that you, above anything else, treat them like a normal human being, okay? They are not here to make you money at all, because honestly, you don't get paid off of them just because they joined. So you want to make sure that you are being the nicest human being you can be, and that you are training them and communicating, and that you're not taking advantage of anything, okay? The second thing that I want to do, so I run reports. A lot of you guys run reports. I know you guys were in our, some of you guys were in our Shoot for the Stars training. I think that's what it was called. I'm really bad at names. So, but I know that a lot of you guys were in that program. So I'm going to show you my top ones to do that I do. I should have already, no, it's not up. I don't know. Okay. Oh no, hold on. Okay. Wait, where did you go? How do you share screen? I stink at technology too. Okay, share screen. All right. So when you go here, you're going to go to view my performance. And then you guys can kind of see all of my reports that I have saved here. So they are going to, you have your saved ones here. Most of the ones over here, so the Shooting for Sensational Star, Essential to Certified, Shooting Star, Promotion, all of that, those ones right there are all done by Sensi. The Almost There and then the Frontline, those are the two that I personally made, okay? And then I do my group ones down here. So this one is There by Fault. And then I have the 25th of the month, the 15th, the 5th, Who's Recruiting, High PRV, High Active Frontline, my upcoming stars, my upcoming directors, Paid a Title Lead, Paid a Title Star, Paid a Title SSC, Paid a Title Director. That was my incentive tracker for the fall, spring incentive. And then, okay, so that was it. I have the view so you guys can do it and I can keep in compliance with showing you guys. So I have all of these saved so I don't have to go in and just double click or do my filters. I don't have to do any of that. So I'm going to show you guys my Frontline one. There is no names and there's no consultant ID numbers. So I am in compliance because I'm not showing you any personal info. It's just in my thing. Okay, so you guys can see all of the things on the level. That's all my first gens. The reason that I have a frontline report is because I really want to make sure that I focus in on my frontline. I want to make sure that I know, do they need their 500? A lot of my people last month would have gotten paid a title if they would put their 500 in. And so I'm trying to be more aware of that. So I pull this report. This is the one that I pull every single day. And honestly, I pull it multiple times a day because I want to make sure that I am teaching my frontline to lead their teams so that they're doing the same with their teams and so on. So I don't have to train as many people, and then that's building them up as a leader. I have reverted back to just letting everybody come to me. And in return, I've noticed that my frontline are not building leaders because everybody is, well, they don't know how to build leaders because I haven't taught them what to do. So this is how I'm becoming more focused on it. And this is the one that I'm really trying to focus in on. So it has everything on here. Honestly, I probably don't need brands, but I just kept it. It's easy. It's whatever. So PRV, TWV, their team and group, their active frontline, new recruits, and then their will cancel. The reason I keep the will cancel is because you guys can see there's some people that are going to cancel this month at the bottom right there. So there's 2. So I want to make sure that I am messaging those people. And this really shows me my rock stars in my front line. And it shows me my 200s that are monthly. And then it shows me my once every 4 months or once every 12 months. Okay. So just make sure you're super like digging into these people. The thing that I do off of this frontline report is, and I'm going to show you guys that in a minute, but I send mail. And it's not like happy mail postcards. It's, I write them a letter and then I put like an inspirational quote in it and I send it out to them. I make sure that it's not just my top performers, okay? Because, oh, is there people trying to get in? I hope that there's not, because I'm like on screen share. Okay. No, we're good. We're good. Okay. But I make sure that it's not just my top performers because I want to make sure that everybody is getting something from me. And it's not anything big. It's just me like telling them how proud I am of them and me just trying to be like an inspirational quote, like you can do this, or something like keep your head up, like something really easy that I print off Pinterest and I just print with my printer and I just stick it in there. Okay. But make sure that you're not just focusing on your top performers. So this month, every single person that I'm sending mail to, they're not a top performer. They haven't put in their 200 in the last 2 months. So that's okay. And how many you pick to send mail is completely up to you. I do 4, but I have a front line of 36, I think is what I counted. It's either 34 or 36. So it's just going to depend on your front line. Maybe do 1 a month, maybe do 2 a month. And then I have a tracker and I'll show you that tracker, but I have a tracker and I just check off or the month that I do it because I go by months and I record their stats. Okay. So that's my frontline one. My almost there report. So that is just my whole downline. You just do start leadership report. Hold on. Okay. Let me get there in a second. So the high frontline or active frontline view. So I hope that this will do this right. Okay. So additional filters for here. So if I was just trying to do my 200 report, I would just go here to PRV and I do my minimum. I started at like 90 and then my max, I do 199. Okay. And then run report. And it brings up everybody within that range. Okay. So that's my almost there report. And I literally will just click this button and email them. And when I email them, I just say like, congrats, you're almost active. Send me a shout out when you get there and I give them a tip on how to get active. Okay. So that's that report. A lot of these are just filters, honestly. I hope I'm making sense too. But my high active frontline, how I did that one is I just double clicked. So you can double click these and it'll go, so that's me. And then if I double clicked, it goes from high, or from, goodness gracious, from the ones that are the highest to the ones that are the lowest, if that makes sense. Okay, so it like ascends it. I think that's the right word. I don't know. But same with GWV, my 5th of the month, it kind of goes just like that. I don't really use the 15th and the 25th. I just go by highest to lowest on the 5th. And then my PRV, so my high PRV, that's the same way. I just double clicked and I just save it. If you go here, that's what I need to tell you guys. Go here and you save your report, okay? And then you can title it and it saves to the side, okay? So those are all pretty much my reports. There's a lot of them. So I could write out the filters for you guys and post that, and maybe it'll be easier so we don't have to spend so much time on it. Okay. I hope that was good. Okay. Or you guys got all that. So the next thing, I do connection calls and I have them scheduled through Calendly, which I can show you guys that too. But I have them scheduled through Calendly. It's an app, completely free. I don't pay any money for it. They literally just schedule their times off of it and I pick who I want to coach with. So that is the thing that I will tell you. Some months I will open it up to everybody if it's like a slower month, but I'm trying to get very intentional, and it's really starting this month because I know you guys saw my post on the Sunshine Sense page. I'm trying to get very intentional with coaching with my frontline that are, and teaching them how to lead and coach themselves. And then I'm trying to get very intentional with only adding in the people like underneath me that don't have very active leaders. Okay. So those would be the only people that I go underneath. But as for now and starting this month, I'm really trying to dig really hard into teaching them how to lead. So I use Calendly. I don't do Google Forms. Google Forms stress me out, and that's okay for me to say. I do not do those. And I know that's how some of you guys have been taught to do coaching calls. And if you like that way, great. But I personally do not. And so I do not do those. I only do 3 questions on my Calendly, and I can show those to you real quick. I'm trying to show you guys everything I do physically, like physically show y'all. And I should have had all this pulled up, but I really did not even, for some reason, I didn't think about it. I don't know why. I just, yeah, kind of, oh no, I just said sign up, didn't I? I can't see very well. That little block was in my mind. Enter your email. In case y'all didn't know, Calendly changed this little app, or its little icon thing. It's really been throwing me off because I have it on my phone. Okay. I'll log in a second. Okay. So these are my things. So you guys can kind of see. When you make your thing, it's going to come up and it's going to let you like customize everything. Okay. I just like the color pink, so I'm doing pink. But you get to do like your link and everything. You get to do that, which I think that's like the first few steps. And then you can see like invitee questions. I don't think that I have. Yes, I do. Okay. So this is the questions that they fill out when they schedule their call. And I'll like go through and like schedule a call so you guys can kind of see like what it looks like from both views. But they just do their name and their email. And then I ask, what do you want out of your business? And then I ask, what do you want help with during our call? And then I say, be specific so I can prepare. Because if it's PRV or if it's sponsoring or if they've tried this and this doesn't work, then I want to make sure as the leader that I'm educating myself and I am trying to pull all the resources and get all the people that could do it differently. And like watch YouTube trainings and get like SSDs that do it differently. I want to make sure that I have all of that prepared on the call so that I can go through and like help guide them to these people. Okay. Because I promise as your leaders, if we don't have the answers, we can find somebody that do. Okay. And then number 3, I have, what consistent actions have you been doing in your business the last 30 days? I want to know how they're working. What have they done? What have they not done? And this is going to kind of show me that. And then I say, what is your phone number? I will call you at the time of our call. This is probably the biggest thing that you guys are seeing difference is in like this Google, it's not a Google form, but me not using Google Forms. And then I know that you guys in the past, like by some other people, have been told they call you. The only reason that I have switched that up is because if they are new, the last thing this person is going to be wanting to do is probably going to be frightened to call me. So I want to make sure that I'm like taking responsibility off of them. And I know that sometimes people are like, well, like they need to be held responsible. Yeah, they do. Like, I get it. They're a business owner. That's great. But like at the same time, I'm a business owner too. I am your coach. I can call you. It's just as much my responsibility as it is yours. Okay. So I just choose to call them. Okay. And then I call them at the time of our call. So you can also go in and I do have an email reminder up. So you can do that. There is a place in here. Oh, here it is. Okay. So this is really cool. Because if you come down here, you guys can see like these are my times that I have set up, 9:15 till 5. I chose 9:15 because I dropped my son off at ACES, his ABA therapy at 9. So by 9:15, he's out of the car. But this is really cool because you can click on this day and then like edit date. And I can make myself unavailable for this day. So I just delete. And it says unavailable, apply, and then nobody will be able to schedule their call on that day. So I really like that. And I do that every single month. So I go through and I take the days that I can't do calls and I delete them out. Like last month, my sister got married. So I like deleted that whole week out so I could focus on her. So that's really cool. And I really like that I can do that. And then there's one other. You set your hours up here. There was one other thing. Oh yeah, you can set availability here too that are like reoccurring. And then there's a lot of different features on here. I set my times. People, if someone schedules an event like a call with me, 30 minutes before and 30 minutes after are blocked out so that nobody can schedule a call within that like 30 minutes before my call and 30 minutes after. So that way it gives me time to prep and get my kids situated. And then it gives me time after the call to fix my kids and do all that stuff. Okay, so you guys can kind of play with that if you decide to use Calendly. But this is what it looks like on the live page. So let's just say I wanted to coach with this person, and I was just like, I send them the link. I personally send them like, hey, pick your date, pick your time. So me as a person coaching, I'm going in, picking the 8th, 10 a.m., confirm. Gonna just write my name. I love the presetting in here to be a bomb consultant. I would have better answers if I was like a person that was actually doing this. Okay. But you guys can kind of see, this is what it looks like. It literally will just have you pick the time and then it automatically opens. Okay. So that's Calendly. Okay. What else do I do? So the next thing when it comes to leadership is like, how do you feed into your teams? So everybody on this call, if you have a downline, if you don't, that's great. You're ahead of the game. You're learning before you got a downline. So that's great. But if you do have a downline, how are you feeding into them? So I feed into my team personally through our Tuesday night Sparks. I do our Ask Tip nights once a month. I do the end of month lives. I do the newsletter. What else do I do? Coaching, the connection calls. So I do 5 different ways: the team page, the voice texts on Thursdays that I do. So I have 7 ways that I feed into my team. So you as the leader, you need to sit down and say, how do you sit down? How do you feed into your teams? Okay. Come up with that way. You need to be doing at least one like live event a month. Okay. Whether that's a live on your team page. I do tip Mondays, and then I do tip Thursdays on the leadership page. Okay. So whether it's like, hey, here's a Zoom link, let's do this once a month. You have a chat with your team. Great, do that. But something where they see your face, they hear your voice, they are learning from you, seeing your leadership type. You need to do that once a month. Okay. And it's okay that us as your directors are doing it. That's great. We want everybody to come in on these things, but I want you guys as leaders to learn to lead your own teams and build your own culture outside of what Michelle and I are doing. Okay. Because you guys are always, yes, welcome, but you need to step into that leadership role and you need to let them hear from you. Okay. So think about doing something like that once a month, some type of connection in person, go to dinner, have a Zoom, do lives on your page, whatever fits your schedule, fits your time, do it. And just do something once a month. Okay. Or if you want to do it more frequently, great. So next is focus on your front line. I literally know I just got done telling you guys this. But hold on. Y'all are saying everything. I'm sorry. I'm like all scattered tonight. It's fine. Travis just said, yes, I am. He knows me too well. Okay. So I have one of these sheets for all of my people. Okay. And I track my front line. So what it is it has month. I don't know if you guys can see, but it has month, it has PRV, and then it has GWV, and then it has their group size, their title. I don't really care about the title. I just want to know if they were paid a title. So above I did paid a title, and then I just write a yes or a no. Okay. Level, I don't really care about that either. So I just kind of cross that one down. And then you guys can see that column right there. That's mail. So that's how I know if I've sent mail to them within the past like year or if I haven't. And when I do this, it's those postcards that I was telling you guys about, those letters that I write them, or it's the top PRV postcards, top GWV postcards, whatever mail that I send, I just track it there because I want to make sure that I'm like filling everybody's mailboxes up and it's not the same people getting mail that are getting mail every month. Okay. Because you never know whose day you can make or whose one business you can change by just sending them mail. Okay. And then I connect with them on social media. This I really try to pull a point to. I'm really bad at like responding to people on social media. If you know me, you know that I'm in like 100 group chats, and unless somebody ats me, I don't respond. I'm really bad at it. Even people that comment on my posts, I'm trying to be more aware of it, but I suck at commenting back at people. I will post all day long, but when it comes to me commenting back, it doesn't always happen. So, but I do add all my frontline on social media. And then I will go through, and when I see them post or something on their Facebook pages, I will write a comment, or I will be scrolling through my stories and they will come up and I will like comment on their story. So I try to make sure that I'm always like commenting on something on social media when I see their name come up. Okay. And then the last thing that I really want to kind of talk on is develop systems that are true to you. Okay. I did a live on this, especially on our leadership page, I think, and I think I did it on my team page. But when it comes to making systems, so a system is anything that you're going to do consistently. Okay. So one of my systems is voice text my downline. One of my systems is post on my team page. That's a system. That's something I do all the time. So you don't have to be writing for it to be a system. And I think that that's kind of sometimes understood. But for me personally, a system is anything that I do not every single day, but it's something that I do monthly at least. Okay. You guys need to make sure that whatever you decide to do with your front line or your down line and your leadership style, that it's who you are. Take what I do, take what Michelle does, take what you see all these other people do on YouTube, or what you see people do on your team pages, and make it you. Put all the ideas that you like and make it one. Don't overwhelm yourself. I have a tracker. I just track it. But it took me a while to honestly figure out what I wanted to do. And I just literally started by writing stuff down. So like Tuesday Night Sparks, I wrote that down because that's what I do every Tuesday. And that's just how I started. What I was doing, I just started writing down. And then I would watch trainings from like Tuesday Night Sparks, or I would be on here, Michelle would say something and I'd be like, yeah, like I want to try that. And I would write it down. So you're going to need to give yourself a grace period when it comes to figuring out like what's actually going to work in your system, but try it. And the worst that you can do is just see no results and then you exit out. Okay. But don't do something and completely copy somebody else and then it'd be hard for you to do because that's not who you are. So be okay with being yourself and give yourself grace in your time that you're learning and the time that you're developing all of this. Give yourself grace. That's pretty much all I have. 26 minutes. Okay, I hope that. Does anybody have any questions or want to say anything? Short, sweet, and simple. You guys can unmute if you want. I don't think we did a question tonight either. So if you guys have a question of the night, not even leadership, you guys can ask too and I'll answer. Kind of forgot that. No questions? Nothing? Everybody's quiet? I hope that's a good sign. I hope I didn't overwhelm you guys.
You did good. Thank you.
Yes, Rika. I hope I'm saying your name right. But can we just give her a round of applause? She literally just joined on the 30th and she's on here learning about leadership style. Like, homegirl's going to be a rock star and I cannot wait to help you every single step of the way. So, and also when it comes to adding your front line on social media, I know we were just talking about that, but you guys, to add them to the team pages, you have to be friends with them. So you should see their name pop up on your social media because you're adding them to the team page. Whatever you do, don't ever doubt adding somebody to the team page because you never know what somebody else is going to say that's going to make a difference in that one person's business. Okay. The team pages are full of tips. They're full of like pro tips. They're full of this is what I'm doing. They're full of like get to know somebody, accountability. This is what we have these communities for with our team pages. So when you recruit somebody, that should be something that you automatically do, because you want to make sure that if you can't reach them, and I'm not always going to reach every single person, I know that, but somebody else can. And so I want to make sure that they just have all the resources they can. So that kind of goes along with adding them because you're going to see their name pop up on your social media and you guys should know who your front line are. I could tell you every single front line that I have and count on my fingers. And there's 36 of them. So you guys should know who your front line are. Okay. No questions. I'm going to stop the recording. We good? Okay.